The curiosity got the best of me, and I'm telling you right now, she puts them in the front row, in the bleachers, and up on the lawn seats more than any woman in the history of sports in America. So that's who she is. I've never given college women's hoops the shot that I gave it over this weekend, and that's the power of Caitlin Clark right there. Congrats to Dawn Staley and her South Carolina team. An undefeated season is clearly nothing to sneeze at. I watched them take out Iowa, and I would recommend that Iowa get more girls who are huge, can pull down rebounds like they're Charles Barkley, and have awesome mops of purple hair. Iowa just got out-muscled in that game. And again, I won't profess to tell you I know anything about women's college basketball. I certainly don't know about the scope of the history of women's college basketball. And I can see that, as soon as anything ends, the debate about whether Caitlin Clark was even good at this needs to begin, because if she was that great, she would have won a national championship. But look at these numbers, folks. I'm telling you that this championship ring culture that is so just ever present, as like the slowest kid in class is always ever present in class, trying to diminish what Caitlin Clark has accomplished individually is insane. Is Caitlin Clark the single best women's player of all time? Is she even the best of her time? Again, I'm not the right person to ask about this, but all of her personal accomplishments, even though her team never pulled the brass ring of winning a national championship, boy, they were sitting on the edge of it. They've really been to the last step in the dance enough times to be impressed by what they've accomplished as a team. But her as an individual, it's just really simply, let me tell you definitively who Caitlin Clark is. Beyond being a basketball player, beyond being someone to measure against Cheryl Miller or Cheryl Swoops or Dawn Staley herself or whoever your small handful of greatest women's basketball players of all time is. No matter where Caitlin Clark is in that handful, she is the only woman in this other hand. And in this hand, I have for you the single greatest draw in the history of women's sport. That's who Caitlin Clark is. We can play the best all time, her time, whatever game. You want to talk about that? Go get someone who knows more about women's college hoops than I do to figure that out. But I'm going to tell you right now, my Caitlin Clark curiosity brought me to a place I normally do not go, and that is watching a women's college basketball game, much less two in a row. I watched both of Iowa's games almost in their entirety, in the Final Four and in the national championship game. Just sitting around this weekend, the curiosity got the best of me, and I'm telling you right now, she is the single greatest female draw in sports history. That's who Caitlin Clark is. She is box office. She is the most attention-grabbing female athlete, any sport, anywhere on the planet. Beat it, Venus. Sorry, Serena. Sorry, Martina Navratilova. Sorry, Michelle Wee. Sorry, Flojo. Sorry, Tanya and Nancy Kerrigan. Caitlin Clark is the biggest draw into the tent of sports that we've ever seen a woman pull in. And I don't know if there's anyone you could even say, no, Damon, it wasn't her. It was X. It was this other woman that you're not thinking of right now. Box office is box office. And Caitlin Clark is serious box office. Not one person has ever brought more eyeballs to a basketball game. Not a dude has ever brought more eyeballs to a basketball game on ESPN. Looking at some of the ratings, they're just incredible. The Iowa-UConn ratings from the national semifinal, that game generated 14.2 million viewers, peaking at a Most eyeballs ever on the game, around 17 million. Still haven't seen the ratings here for the national championship game, but I'm guessing they're going to be an absolute monster approaching 20 million, if not surpassing it, because that game set up to pull people in. It was a ball game at halftime. It remained a ball game as it got through the third quarter and the fourth quarter. By the way, the quarter system is something that the men should think of adopting. But look, Richard Deitch, who covers sports very, very well, he put things into perspective, and I want to share this tweet with you. Caitlin Clark and Iowa and UConn, and the ratings that game got, top every World Series game last year. We spent more time watching Caitlin Clark this weekend than we did Major League Baseball's World Series. If you ever thought you'd live in a world where a women's college basketball game would outrate the World Series, I would have said never, not in my lifetime. Well, it just happened this weekend. So that's who she is. I don't know what Caitlin Clark's purse looks like, but her wallet is the one that says bad motherfucker on it. That's who she is. She outrated every single World Series game last year. She outed every NBA Finals game last year. Caitlin Clark had more eyeballs on her than the NBA Finals. She outrates every Daytona 500 since 2013, every Masters final round since 2013 as well, and all but 5 college football games in just the last season. Caitlin Clark puts them in the front row, in the bleachers, and up on the lawn seats more than any woman in the history of sports in America. So that's who she is. And if that's not enough for you, you have an impossible standard. Caitlin Clark is a bad motherfucker when it comes to getting people to come and watch her play. The other girls, the women on that Iowa team, ladies, I don't think that what you just did is repeatable. I don't think last year is going to, or next year is going to have, maybe, I don't know, maybe there is a new Caitlin Clark. Maybe there is someone who creates this level of fascination. But the truth is, what Caitlin Clark had was years of success, years of unprecedented stat piling, and years of the attention build that used to really benefit the men's NCAA tournament. By the time a guy was in his senior year, you knew all about him and you really knew this team and you had a familiarity with these players, and that's why you were so interested. Caitlin Clark brought something back to college basketball that it's been lacking, and that is superstar that you're familiar with power. And, you know, everything that I've heard her say has just been said the right way. She is impressive. And oh my God, dude, the minute this chick pulls into the parking lot, she's in range. Like, she really does. Like the whole, hey, you know, this chick shoots from half court. Like, it's not bullshit. Like, that's, wow. I'm sorry, I didn't watch much Caitlin Clark up until this weekend. She kind of blew me away with some of the things that she did. And I'm going to tell you right now, she might be a better passer than she is a shooter. Like, holy shit. She had some passes going into some other women that they weren't ready for it. So she was really, really impressive. There you go. Caitlin Clark, you did something that I didn't think could actually happen. So she might not have won the national championship, but she is the people's champ. Thanks for watching. Tune into the Damon Bruce Show live on YouTube every weekday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific.